Corporal Kennedy Productions presents The Monkey's Paw. It is a rainy summer night in rural Georgia. Bill and Martha White, a couple in their early 60s, and their son Herb are getting ready for a dinner guest.
You know, Herb, we haven't seen Tommy Morris for more than 20 years, since you were a baby. Did you know
That he's my godfather? I know, Dad. You've only told me 50 times since he called you last week.
Herb, your father's just excited to see his old friend.
back when we were in the Navy together, Tommy was the wildest guy in the outfit. Whenever we'd stop in some foreign port for shore leave, off he'd go. He wouldn't come back till the last minute, and he'd always have some crazy local magic potion or some such thing in his hand. He was going to find the secret of life, he said. Crazy kid.
So what's he been doing for the last 20 years?
I don't know, son. He told me he's been around the world, trying to escape fate, whatever that means.
At the moment, there is a knock on the door. It is Mr. Morris.
Tommy Morris, you old scoundrel. Come in, come in. You remember Martha, of course.
Welcome to Georgia, Tommy.
Thanks, Martha. Thank you for opening your home to me. And this is my boy, Herb. Your godson has grown a lot in 20 years, wouldn't you say? I would, Bill. You have a fine family. Well, come sit by the fire, Tommy. Herb, take the man's coat. Martha, can you get me and my old friend here something to drink?
As Mr. Morris takes off his coat, something that looks like a paw falls out of his pocket. Herb picks it up. What's this, Mr. Morris?
Give me that. Sorry, Herb. Didn't mean to yell. It's just that you can't know how dangerous this monkey's paw is. I wouldn't want any harm to come to you. Why, it's just an ordinary little monkey's paw, Tommy. What trouble could it be? Do you believe in magic, Bill? You know, I don't put any stock in all that mumbo-jumbo you go chasing around the globe after. I don't go chasing after it anymore. Finding this paw taught me my lesson.
How so?
Herb, don't cry.
It's okay, Martha. In India, years ago, there was a holy man who wanted to prove a point, that any man who tried to interfere with fate would be sorry in the end. The holy man put a spell on this paw so that 3 different people could each have 3 wishes granted by it. That's hogwash. If it's true, then tell me, where are your wishes? I pray that they're long gone.
So you've already made 3 wishes?
Oh, yes.
And they were granted?
Yes, they were. I was the second man to make 3 wishes on this paw. The first man who had the paw got his first 2 wishes. His third was for death. And that's how the paw came into my hands.
If you've made your wishes, why do you keep the paw?
I don't know. I guess I don't quite know how to get rid of it. And I wouldn't want it to fall into someone else's hands and curse them like I've been cursed.
Morris hurls the paw into Mr. White's fireplace. Mr. White grabs it out of the fire.
Let it burn, Bill. Please. Well, if you don't want it, and there are 3 perfectly good wishes left in it, then I want it. I think you should burn the thing. If you keep it, don't blame me for what happens.
Bill, Tommy said it's dangerous. You should listen to him.
Don't be silly. Hey, maybe I'll wish for an extra pair of hands for you. That would make things easier around the house, don't you think? No, please, Bill. This isn't a joke. If you're going to use that paw, at least wish for sensible things for your own sake.
Now on to scene 2. Later that evening, Morris has left, and the Whites are sitting in their living room thinking about the paw.
Tommy wouldn't stop warning me to get rid of this paw. I don't know what he's worried about. Crazy thing probably doesn't work anyway.
Are you going to make a wish tonight, Dad?
I think I should. Then it won't come true, and we'll all be able to go to sleep, knowing that there's no such thing as magic.
I'm still worried about what Tommy said. If you're going to wish, then wish for something small and sensible.
I've already got everything I could want. I've got my health, my family, a roof over my head.
That's it, Dad. Why not wish for enough money to pay off the mortgage on the house? I can't imagine what trouble a few $1,000s would cause.
Okay, that makes sense, but I won't wish for a penny more than I need.
He picks up the paw, holds it in front of him, and speaks directly to it.
Pa, I wish for $15,000. Hey! I swear that thing's fingers just moved.
You're probably just imagining things. Mr. Morse has got you spooked.
Herb's right. I don't see any money here. Now we know the paw doesn't work. I'll bet Tommy's gonna come tell us tomorrow that the whole thing was a joke.
I bet you're right. Come on, let's go get some sleep. Tomorrow I'll wish for those extra arms for you.
Yeah, and when I get home from work tomorrow, I expect you to be using those arms to juggle our bags of money, Mom. Now on to scene 3. The next night, just as Mr. and Mrs. White sit down for dinner, they hear a knock on the door.
Who is it? Oh, Mr. Parson, what brings you here? Is everything okay at the plant? What happened to Herb, I hope? Is your husband home, ma'am? What I have to say, I should tell you both.
I'm here. What is it, Parsons?
There was an accident at the plant. Herb was caught in the machinery. I'm sorry. No, is he hurt? He was badly hurt, ma'am, but he's not in pain now.
Well, we can be thankful for that. Oh, you don't mean...
Yes, I'm so sorry. Herb is dead.
Mrs. White screams and collapses into Mr. White's arms. He holds her.
I know this won't mean anything to you, but as you know, the company is not responsible for any on-site accidents. Still, we do want to give you some compensation to cover the cost of...
Is that a check?
Yes, as I said, I know it won't mean much to you now, but...
How much?
$15,000.
Now on to scene 4. A week later, on the night after Irv's funeral, Mrs. White wakes up her husband with a scream.
The paw! The monkey's paw!
What is it?
Why didn't I think of it before? Why didn't you think of it?
Think of what?
There was still 2 wishes left.
So what? I don't ever want to touch that thing again. I would have destroyed it already, but I'm afraid to get near it.
But you must. Don't you see we could use the paw to wish our son back alive again?
That's insane. Not to mention immoral.
Who says so? We know the paw works. We just need to use it. And we could still be a family again. Please, let's get it.
Now?
Yes, right now.
They go downstairs to the living room, and Mr. White pulls the paw out of a drawer.
Please, Martha, we've had enough trouble already. Don't you think we should...
Wish!
He holds the paw in his hand.
Okay, I'll do it. But I tell you, it's not natural. I wish our son alive again.
Did it work? Did the fingers move again? Honey, he should be here any minute. Come wait with me.
Now on to our final scene. Scene 5. 3 hours later, Mr. and Mrs. White are still standing inside the door, looking through the window.
Herb's not coming, dear. It's unnatural to wish someone back from the dead. The paw can't do that.
Maybe you're right.
They turn away from the window and start back upstairs to their room when suddenly they hear a scratching sound on the front walk. Mrs. White runs to the door.
Of course! The cemetery is miles away. That's why it took so long. It's my boy.
Listen to me. I didn't think it would come this far. I didn't think anything could bring back the dead, but Martha, remember, Herb was crushed by that machinery. I wouldn't let you see his corpse at the funeral home because you wouldn't have recognized it.
They hear a knocking at the front door. Mrs. White breaks away and runs downstairs.
Martha! Whatever that is at the door, it's not the Herb you knew. Don't let it in.
Mr. White runs after his wife. When he gets downstairs, she is already opening the door. As he hears her scream, he grabs Monkey's paw and quickly whispers a final wish. Then he looks up and sees his wife, moaning, staring out at the door at the deserted front lawn. The knocking is still echoing through the house. The end. Brought to you by Corporal Kennedy Productions.